I'll wake you up. I said it.
This is Appetite for Distortion.
Welcome to the podcast, Appetite for Distortion, episode number 304. My name is Brando. A special episode for you today. It's odd. I have a podcast, and I never do an episode by myself. I don't think that's ever happened. I'm not going to be talking your ear off for an hour, but we got to talk. Hard Skool! It's out. It really happened. You know, I want to be able to fit in review episodes, and I have a lot of fans to thank, and they're kind of on hold right now because my schedule has been kind of crazy with my real life, my real radio life. So there's some fans like Steve Fisher wants to come on. There's Eric that wants to come on, show reviews. But I don't know. Can we go back and do show reviews that don't include Hard Skool yet, which is out now on all platforms. New Guns N' Roses music out now. And we'll get into the fact if it's new or not. So there are fans, and I want to thank them. But I said, you know what? Hold off. Hold off, because for one, just to catch up and before I lose it, I love doing this podcast. I am in radio, but sometimes I have to remind myself that the podcast is not my job. It doesn't really bring in the bacon. Doesn't bring in the GNR. It brings in the GNR bacon, but doesn't bring in the bacon. So with my real radio jobs, I've just been super busy. Actually, today, as I put out this episode, I'm going to be working, or just board hopping, at Q104.3 in New York City, where we are playing Hard Skool. Hard Skool is on the radio, and it's going to be on during my board hopping shift. So I don't know if sometimes they ask me just to talk on the air when I'm producing. So we'll see if I'm on the air later with Q. And then tomorrow, Saturday, I'm working all day in studio for the Global Citizens Festival. That's, from Paris and all these different countries. And I'm working the broadcast on that just from a studio. I'm not going to be anywhere special other than, New York City, I guess. So it's going to be a full day for me. I can't broadcast, can't do a podcast. And then Sunday, I'm going to Baltimore to see Guns N' Roses. Hopefully play Hard Skool live, which they haven't done. So we'll get to that in a second. So I'm going down to Baltimore with my fiance, I'm so grateful to have a Guns N' Roses partner now. And I finally, because of her, saw my first full Dave Matthews show. Maybe we'll get into that. I was the only one at Jones Beach wearing a Chinese Democracy shirt. I bet you that much. I really did. My 2002 long sleeve. I wore that to see Dave Matthews. I had to represent. I had to pretend I was somewhere else. So then, Baltimore, I'm going to be there. And shout out to Jay, a listener, who, one of the reasons why I'm going to Baltimore, he offered me he has an Airbnb. I mean, my fiance and I. So there have just been amazing fans, and Jay is one of them. So many of you said, hey, if you're ever in the area, you got a place to stay, or many of you, and I never correct you because it's not worth it, beer's on me. Well, if you don't know yet, I don't drink. I may have other vices, but it's been like 6 years. I almost said it's been 1 week. No, it's been like 6 years since I've had a drink. That was a problem for me. So, but I appreciate the sentiment. So, maybe I'll meet up with not just Jay, but with some other Baltimore Guns N' Roses fans. So I hope to see you on Sunday. Come say hi. I'll be maybe. I won't be in this concert the only one. I don't know what I'm going to wear yet. I might be the only one with a cane. So just look for the dude with the cane and a beard and say hi. So I was thinking Monday, the next podcast, and perhaps hold off the review fans who have submitted. And I don't want to tell them no. I don't want to tell you no. And maybe just have you on for a Hard Skool reaction episode to do that. And the next review episode, full review episode, which may be Baltimore. I mean, Wouldn't that be something? I did not expect that. You know, we all were like, is Hard Skool really going to come out? Is this really going to happen? Are they fucking with us? Right? We all got to apologize. Not me, because I believed her. That fan who posted that she met Axel and he played Hard Skool for her. So many, not so many. There were some fans that trolled her, calling her a liar. You know, that would never happen. How dare you? You know, wow, I sound like my mother. How dare you? Apologize to her. She was right. She was right. Axel said it would be released soon, and it was. And it was so odd how it was released. You know, I went to sleep. Never go to sleep in Guns N' Roses world. Just try to stay awake. Like in, well, I guess this kind of pertains. Like A Nightmare on Elm Street, which was the awesome lithograph for Columbus, Ohio. And I didn't realize that, I think it was I don't know if it's a made-up town, but Springwood or something like that, Ohio. But A Nightmare on Elm Street was located in Ohio. So very smart, whoever created that idea. And it was not Del James, who is the horror fan, him and Slash of the GNR world. Because I tagged him, and he replied he wishes it was, but it was not. And also, quick sidebar, again, I offered Del, and he did like the tweet, so at least he appreciates the offer. If the stars ever align, I offered just horror talk. If Del ever wants to come on this podcast, I'll create a segment just for him, just to talk about horror. No Guns N' Roses, so hopefully Fernando will allow it. I don't know. Well, I'm sure Del probably has. Could do whatever the fuck he wants, but I just want him to feel comfortable. You know, Del's Den of Horror or something stupid like that. He'll come up with a better name if he ever agreed to do it. So tweet at Del. You know, just say whenever he posts about horror, saying I would love to hear you talk about it on Appetite for Distortion, the AFD podcast on Twitter, the new podcast Twitter. As I learned my lesson, so Baltimore, I will be taking pictures, no video. Maybe I'll share some live streams on Facebook, but no video, as that was the reason why my Twitter was suspended, sharing my own FN videos. While so many other people share them, and I see you, and I like those videos, but mine, I don't know. Somebody didn't like me posting those. Anyway, so Hard Skool is out, and I'm gonna post this on Twitter soon. I haven't done it yet, because I don't want to be bombarded with responses yet. Because yesterday when Hard Skool, before it even came out, it was like New Year's Eve. It was like, because it was first out in New Zealand. They were celebrating it. Then Japan. Then the UK. It was like every time zone. We got it. It's on Spotify, and you're retweeting it. And you know where I am, New York City, Queens, and like it's coming. And the day before, I don't know how you geniuses find this. You know, we got the link. It's not active yet. We found the Hard Skool link. It's there, the YouTube, the Spotify, but it's not active. Like, it's coming. I would never know how to do that. I don't know how to do that. But good for you. You GNR sleuths. you figured it out that it was coming out before it did. And it makes you wonder why. And I was watching random Facebook live feeds of the Ohio concert yesterday, which I don't do. I'm not. Yeah, I say this as a guy hosting a Guns N' Roses podcast. I'm not a Guns N' Roses nerd like that, I guess, where I have to listen to every single fucking show. I do not. But with Hard Skool coming out, you expect something to be said like it was said when Absurd came out, when I was there at MetLife. Here's a new song, new-ish. You know, I'm just paraphrasing. Then the release at midnight. We were waiting for that announcement, right? And we never got it. But what we did get is Shadow of Your Love back in, Coma back in. I'm getting tweets, people freaking out about Coma. I forget your name, I'm sorry. She's like, I drove all the way from Buffalo for this. I can leave happy. This is exactly what we wanted. And I believe I've said this on this podcast, and I know I've said it recently on Guns N' Radio, and shout out to them for having me on their 30th anniversary User Illusion show. But I don't complain about the set list anymore. I think there's something you really need to understand. You know, when they're adding, even on a night where we're all expecting Hard Skool, and there even is some letdown, I'm going to be honest. Did you feel that way? some letdown that it wasn't played live. However, we got the song. So it's like, even when it's like, yeah, everything is amazing, but there's this little, I don't know, little wrench, little monkey wrench in there. You know, just why? I mean, I guess at the end of the day, it's not a big deal because, again, we got Coma, we got Shadow of Your Love, which I love live. I love Shadow. I love Shadow of Your Love. So I was happy with that. But if I was at the Baltimore show and you knew Hard Skool was coming out, you're expecting it. And there were some weird things that Axl said that felt like he was alluding to it. You know, that it was coming up, but nothing ever happened. Almost as if, like when I do a podcast and I forget to talk about it, a topic. I mention a topic and I'm like, oh, and I just never bring it up. I think the last episode, and, you know, I won't go deep dive into it. And I guess this kind of ties into what we're talking about here and people comparing, oh, so what version of Hard Skool did you like? So I'm going to post it right now, and maybe I'll get some responses in real time. All right, so I don't usually post like this, so hopefully you don't unfollow me at the AFD podcast because it's like a 5-tweeter. It's a 5-tweeter. So I thought this out, but because I don't know. Also, I notice a lot of you many of you are new followers because of what's the activity and me trying to have my pulse on the situation and realizing while I am not an insider, I sometimes get inside information. And yeah, I host a podcast with cool people. So, you know, I like to think of more than a fan site. So I posted this on Twitter, and I'll say this on the podcast, of course. To fans that have complained about Hard Skool and Absurd not being new, this is why Fernando LaBase, GNR's manager, and Axl Rose, or any artist really, don't want their song leaks. I need Twitter to get a fucking edit button. It doesn't matter when they were written. It just wasn't meant to come out at that time. Now we compare versions of it. So with that said, I get why fans, myself included, I'm not going to be a hypocrite, are hungry to hear anything. Considering the length of time between releases, you know, soon is the word, and the lack of any real updates. You know, it's coming. How my interview with Susan Holmes McKagan, where she just mentions bits and bobs, and just so it's like almost a nothing burger, as you say, just saying she's heard new Guns N' Roses music. Hell, that went super viral, translated in all these languages because we get no real updates. You know, and that's a topic for another time, I think, as far as why we don't get updates other than just kind of generic ones. So I get why we're hungry, why we listen, but that being said, does that mean I condone stealing music? Actually leaking and spreading it? No, it doesn't mean I condone it. Have I done it? Have I stolen? No. I haven't stolen. Have I shared leaked music in the past? Yeah, because I guess that's kind of the way things are done now. Like the way you used to trade cassettes back in the day. You tape off the radio. I don't post like, hey, come to me for leaks. But if I see some fans, like, I can't find it anywhere. And I'm saying also this, I don't give it to people. Or I'm not, I usually don't. But I'm trying to be transparent. I'm just letting you know I have shared links in the past. But does that make me or you bad fans for doing that? Then you go down the argument. Are you taking money out of Guns N' Roses' mouth? I mean, we're going to the shows. We're buying the albums. We're streaming the songs anyway. And that goes along with, plus, I've told this to Rick, the band fan Dunsford, who, look, I told him, hey, if you want to try to go do another Guns N' Roses show when you are quote-unquote banned, as he went to Chicago, and check out he's made some posts about his aftermath there. And I'm like, if you want to deal with whatever aftermath, good luck to you, buddy. You know, as long as your wife loves you and doesn't leave you, more power to you. But does that make, he's an eager fan who loves his band, but does that make him a bad person? Bad person? I don't think so. I don't think it makes him a bad fan either. I wouldn't do these things, but who am I? Do whatever the fuck you want. It's your money. I don't give a shit. Again, he's not the one stealing it. I don't know. It's that gray area. So in closing, and I appreciate you guys listening to me, just this Brando alone episode, which usually happens all the time in my head, just like broadcasting in my head all the time, just a constant narration of my life. So sad. Anyway, in closing, Hard Skool rocks. I think it is an awesome song. I like this version of it. I didn't really overly listen to the version that leaked a few years ago, and that's kind of how I am with leaks, other than the Chinese Democracy ones, which you just thought was never going to come out. I might listen to a leak once or twice. So there you go. I listened to it once or twice. I don't have it on my playlist. But Hard Skool, I've listened to a lot already. I put out a poll on my new Twitter at the AFD podcast. How many times have you listened to Twitter? 0, 1, 2. And then I just typed a bunch of random numbers that equal in the trillions. So Hard Skool, I think it rocks. I will say there was a huge missed opportunity. Guns N' Roses with a missed opportunity? What if Hard Skool was released at the start of the new year, the school new year, rather? Think about that. All the merch that could have been sold, the Guns N' Roses rulers, folders, erasers, pencil sharpeners, trapper keepers, all saying we're effing back to school. Come on, that would be fucking brilliant. I mean, right? I'm not saying I'm not vying to manage Guns N' Roses. I'm just saying I got ideas to make you money. I think you like that, right? So Hard Skool rocks. I hope they come out with a video for it. I mean, it's streaming everywhere now. So, I mean, you can watch it online, but it's just a picture. Cool picture, by the way. Cool graphic because it includes a couple things. One, the Stussy S, or the Cool S, as it's sometimes referred to as, you know, those bunch of lines that you would draw on your desk in high school or your notebook. You know, it has like the carrot thing at the top, the 3 straight lines, the 3 diagonal lines, the 3 straight lines, and the upwards facing carrot at the bottom. I described that pretty well. So that's on the locker. So it's a locker. Their logo, Hard Skool, which hopefully they make a sticker for. Shout out to Eric P. I mean, they got to make a Hard Skool sticker to put on your locker or anywhere else, right? And then they have a number for a good time call. It's a 1-800 number, and I've tried calling it. I wasn't going to, but some fans were like, hey, it actually leads to a real sex hotline. Mine's like, it says it's not available in this area, so I don't know. Maybe my phone blocks phone sex operators. So if you want a good time, call the number on the Hard Skool artwork. Fucking great. So this is just a great time. Happy Hard Skool Day, everybody. Listen to it, stream it a lot, get Guns N' Roses up in the charts. There's just too much shit music out nowadays. And Guns N' Roses is not shit music, even Absurd, which rocks. I'm sorry, it's different. It really is. If Absurd was the first song I heard from Guns N' Roses since Use Your Illusion, or especially Appetite, yeah, I would be like, what the fuck is this? Yeah, it sucks. Because I said that a lot about Chinese Democracy. I said in the first few episodes, when I talked about becoming a fan, it took me 3 listens initially in 2008 to understand Chinese Democracy. And now I love it. It's just a lot to unpack. Absurd is a great song. I did not like Silkworms, but whatever Slash and Duff did to Hard Skool, this is why they work together. This is why. And you hope if and when an EP comes out, which there's a rumor out there. I shared the rumor. Whether I'm not contributing to it, it's just food for thought. I even said on the tweet, rumor. This is a rumor. It's going to an EP release of Absurd, Hard Skool, and a few covers. Wichita Lineman, The Seeker, which has got to stop. I'm sorry. That's my biggest gripe right now. I'm like, when they played The Seeker instead of Hard Skool last night, I'm just like, what the fuck? Anyway, I'm not going to complain too much. I'm the one who tweeted yesterday. So what do Guns N' Roses fans get to complain about today with a wink? And I'm the one complaining. But it's not a real complaint. This is awesome. We have 2 new GNR songs. They're continuing to tour where every other band is failing. Axl Rose is battling through food illness. This is just a great time, and I'm getting to experience all this through you. So that does it for this episode of Appetite for Distortion. When is the next one? Well, I really don't know. I just want to talk Hard Skool with you guys. So in the words of Axl Rose concerning Chinese democracy, you'll see it, I don't know if soon is the word.
Thanks to the lame-ass security, I'm going home.